Hey guys, so it's the 24th of November in 2024 and I'm here in a city called Catania on the east side of Sicily, on the island of Sicily. So Catania is the second biggest city in Sicily and Palermo is the capital city of Sicily. So I've spent two weeks here just traveling around the country and I've got lots of information for you to give you on this tour today. I want to tell you the ways that not to be overcharged and the ways not to be scammed when you're here in Sicily. I want to give you as much information as possible so you are not overcharged here when you come here on holiday, and give you all the warnings and everything else before you come here so you have a trouble-free holiday, so you have an absolutely brilliant holiday, guys. So the first thing to watch out for obviously is with taxi drivers, because here taxi drivers charge very, very, very highly inflated prices, totally unreasonable prices. When you arrive at the airport, for example, there are taxis parked there at the airport and the taxis charge 35 euros to go a small distance, only maybe about 8 minutes drive to get you into the city centre. You can use an application called Uber, and Uber will cost you 28 euros, so Uber is also expensive as well. So you can use that Uber application as well. It will save you about 7 euros against that price. But I recommend that you get the bus with Alibus, and Alibuses are every half an hour going from Catania Airport to Catania City Centre, and that will only cost you 4 euro on an Alibus. The bus was very, very clean, it was very efficient, there's plenty of room, it was not full of people or anything like that. Other things that you need to watch out for really when you're here in Catania is just generally being overcharged in various different situations. So I went to the hairdressers, for example, to the barbershop. What happened to me was I went to this barbershop in Palermo, for example, and in Palermo, that's the city where most scams happen, really. And then I was getting my hair cut there in the barbershop, and he said to me, your eyebrows are a bit too long. He said, do you want me to just remove the hair from the eyebrow? I said, yeah, okay. So it turns out it took him a few seconds to do it, only quite literally a few seconds, and he has charged me an extra 5 euro on top of the bill for adjusting my eyebrows for a few seconds. So hello. I mean, for me it was like a totally misleading situation that went on there in Palermo, and that's something that you definitely need to watch out for, just misleading situations in general. And you need to be aware that if they offer you something, they will charge money for offering that. It's not just, they're not just offering to trim the eyebrows very quickly within the price like they do in Poland. They actually will charge extra money for that. The thing that you need to watch out for here in Sicily as well is various cover charges. So if you're sitting in a bar or a restaurant here, for example, some bars and restaurants charge a cover charge. They charge a cover charge between 2 euros and 4 euros, depending on which restaurant you go to, which cafe you go to, or which bar you go to. So if you're eating food and you take a table, they're going to charge you money for taking that table between 2 and 4 euros. So before you go inside the cafe or the restaurant, make sure you ask, do you have a cover charge? How much is the cover charge? One place in Palermo charged me 4 euro cover charge, and I was only having a cannoli, so I was only going to sit there for 2 minutes. Another place in Syracuse, for example, she charged me 2 euro for a box to take away the cannoli. I thought I'd avoid the cover charge and say I'll have it take away, but she put it in a box and she charged me 2 euros for the box. So it was totally misleading, the situation that happened there. Now here you've got, like straight ahead on the right side, you'll see there's a street traders there from Senegal and Africa selling various products there in the street. The Nike, Adidas, Armani, they will tell you they're real, but they're actually copies. And when they sell you the gold, they have gold chains, gold bracelets and everything else. And when they sell you those, if they say it's real gold, it is not real gold. They are counterfeit products. They're quite low quality. They might look like real gold, but they are not real gold. The other thing is when you buy things off the street vendors here, you do need to be careful, because in Palermo I bought a lead for the mobile phone, a USB lead, got it back to the hotel and the USB lead did not work. So that's something to watch out for there. Generally you need to watch out for prices, because one place I walked into in terms of having an Aperol Spritz, and one place I walked into was 18 euros for an Aperol Spritz. That is totally overpriced. For an Aperol Spritz here, you pay 5 euros in most places. Some places are 3 euros. Always look at the menu before you order any food or any drinks here. always look at the menu before you order anything here, because like it can be misleading, they can overcharge you. The situation there, 18 euros for an Aperol Spritz, that is far too much money, and they should not be charging 18 euros for an Aperol Spritz when it's only worth 5 euros. Also, you need to have a look very closely at the price of the beer on the menu. Don't just go in and order a beer. Say, you probably think the Sicilian beer is cheaper than other beers from other parts of Italy or international beers, but that's not actually the case, guys, at all. Have a look at the menu before you order the beer. The beers are all different prices. I found that various beers such as Moretti was half the price of the Sicilian beer, for example. The Sicilian beer was 6 euros for a Sicilian beer, and I got a Moretti beer for 3 euro in the same place. So when you first arrive, you end up ordering a few local beers because you think local beers will be cheaper. But here in Sicily, no, the local beers are more expensive in the majority of places that you go to. So you do have to watch out for that as well. Another thing to watch out for is make sure that you're not double charged. So when you go in, you buy your drink and you just pay like you do in England, and then they ask you to pay again when you leave. So I mean, it happened to me this holiday, for example, go into a place and you have a couple of drinks and you pay, and then at the end they ask you to pay again, so you've paid twice. Watch out for that situation, because you might be a tourist and you're tired and you're confused or whatever else. There's definitely something to watch out for. The other thing to watch out for is make sure you stay in a proper hotel. Don't stay in an Airbnb. Don't just rent a room in a shared apartment or anything else. I found a place here, it was about £40 a night, and I just rented a room here, and you couldn't even flush the toilet. You have to put the toilet paper into the bin when you go to the toilet, and the standard was really, really poor quality for what I paid. You couldn't use the toilet, the lock didn't work on the door to the bedroom as well. So I was like really, really, really disappointed about that, because, you know, for me it's important to be able to use the toilet and put the paper into the toilet. It's a bit disgusting really to have to put the paper in the bin at the side of the toilet. So stay in a proper hotel, go online, go on TripAdvisor, look at the reviews, make sure you book a nice accommodation. I think hotels here are totally overpriced here in Sicily. I found that hotels here tend to be very, very expensive for what they are. In Malta, for example, I got a hotel quite nice. It was about £23 a night, which is about 27 euros a night. But here in Sicily, you're looking at a minimum 50 or 60 pounds a night. Prices for hotels can be really expensive here and overpriced here in Catania, and also the same in Palermo. Hotels were expensive in Palermo as well. I found the standard of accommodation to be relatively poor, so make sure you stay in a decent standard of hotel. For example, in Poland, for example, you get a much better standard of hotel for the same price that you pay here, so you get much better value for money. In terms of restaurants here, they tend to be very, very good value for money. The majority of restaurants, you can get a pizza for around 10 euros. I've even found some places down the side streets where you can get a pizza for 6 euros. If they're charging anything above 15 euros, that's too much money to charge for a pizza. And you need to check the menus in all the restaurants here, because there are some tourist trap places around. Straight ahead down here, there's a place on the right side. I went in for a pizza, and it's the worst pizza I had in my whole life. It was a total tourist trap. Very, very poor quality, and clearly it was a place for tourists. It was just a tourist trap. But there's other places where I've had absolutely delicious, superb pizza. I went to one place, had a seafood pizza, for example, and that was in Palermo, absolutely delicious. I've been in another place here, had a delicious pizza. The food is fantastic here, but you must check the restaurant, walk around the restaurant, watch people and look at what they're eating, look at the quality of the food, and then you know if it's proper or not. Now, everything here is negotiable. You can go to a mini market here and you want to buy a water, and you can negotiate for that price of the water. So for example, the water was €1.50. I said to the guy, I'll give you €1. He said, okay. So negotiating is possible everywhere here. You can negotiate everywhere here, everywhere you go. People are happy to negotiate. Now, you need to watch out for the fake Black Friday sales. Some of them are real, some of them are fake. Compare the prices online, compare the prices in your home country. I've seen some Black Friday sales here. I went into a shop to buy a jacket. She said, listen, it's 50% discount, but that's only today. But 1 week later, I'm back here and the same sale is on and the same products are all on and the same sale. So it wasn't a one-day sale like she told me. She put me under pressure to buy the products. So in terms of visiting Sicily, Catania is the best city in Sicily by a long, long way. It's a really, really nice city, and the people here have been very friendly to me in general. You do need to watch out here for thieves and pickpockets and that type of things. Maybe walking alone down dark streets in certain parts of the city at night as well, in case of mugging or anything like that. But you need to watch your pockets very, very carefully. There seems to be a lot of kind of poor people walking around looking for opportunities like that. So I've spoken to some tourists and they said they've been robbed. I know for a fact there's a lot of theft here, and that's something that you really, really need to watch out for here in Sicily. In terms of weather here in Sicily in November, just to let you know, you only need a light jacket. It's very, very warm every day. It's around 23 degrees, some days 21 degrees or 20 degrees, but it's a warm place, so you don't need to bring like a big warm winter jacket here or winter hats here or anything like that. The weather is very, very nice here in November. They have the best climate here probably in the whole world. It's sunny for the whole year here in Sicily. Now another scam you need to watch out for is a place called Syracuse. People go down there. It's supposed to be one of the oldest towns in Europe, and it's very, very expensive in Syracuse when you get there. Just put one night there if you're going there, and a beer cost me €5.50 for a small 330 centilitre bottle of beer, and that was a local beer from Sicily as well, and it was very, very expensive in Syracuse, very, very overpriced. The prices are much lower here in Catania. Another one happened to me when I got to Palermo bus station. There's a taxi driver parked there. He's asked me for €20 to go to my hotel, and €20 is far too much. You must negotiate. You must negotiate with taxi drivers here. I negotiated with him, then he offered me €15. He said, "You're English, I like English people, I'll do it for €15. Then I negotiated further, and in the end he did it for €10. Even though the taxi ride there was only for about 3 minutes, it was only about 3 minutes, the taxi ride, so really it should have been less than €10, but taxis are totally overpriced here in Sicily. So guys, thank you very much for watching my guided tour today, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Travel with Cole. If you've got any suggestions about any things that happened to you here in Sicily, or any input at all, you can make some comments on my channel as well, and please give likes and please subscribe guys as well. Thank you very much guys. Cheers. Bye bye.